Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Willard. I'm here with the Glenbard Parent Series. I flew in from Harvard Medical School, and I do a lot of work with adolescents and kids on managing stress. Now, one thing I probably don't need to tell you is that teenagers are more stressed out than actually ever before. And even just the pressure that you're getting, whether it's from schools or teachers or parents or just life, right, is really stressing you out. It's real. You're actually the most stressed out people in the country, are teenagers right now. And what that stress does, as you've probably noticed, is it leads to things like a huge spike in mental health issues. Maybe that's you and you want to talk about it, or don't. Maybe that's your friends, right? It's going to be a lot of people in your school. Actually, what we're seeing now is 1 in 3 teenagers will have some mental health issue by the time they're done with high school. So I want to share just a few tips with you for yourself, but maybe also for your friends in terms of managing your stress so that you can just feel a bit more resilient going forward. And so what's interesting to me is mindfulness, which is kind of the opposite of stress. It's like being in the moment rather than being in the future worrying about that, or being in the past thinking, why did I say that dumb thing at the party? And when we're in the moment, we're actually a lot happier because we're not freaking out about this thing or that thing. And we can do that in all kinds of different ways. We can do that through just something like breathing. In fact, breathing, someone said recently, I heard, like breathing is like the remote control that shuts off that stress alarm in your brain. You can just turn that right off. It actually does hit that part of your brain where the stress is like, and you're shutting down and your brain's shutting down. And what you want to do is slow that breath down to about 4 to 6 breaths in a minute, which you may think I misspoke. I didn't. It's 4 to 6 breaths in a minute, which is really, really slow. So that's things like, you can just actually adjust your posture, and like even just if you're in class or wherever you're stressed, just put your hands behind your head. You can't not deepen and slow your breath when you do that, and no one really notices. You can slow your breath down by just counting. So maybe just like breathing, a friend of mine talks about the 7-Eleven breath. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You do that 3 or 4 times. Actually, probably even doing that once, you might notice a difference. But like those difficult moments, like, when I think about high school, I think about, my name's Willard, so, back row all the time, right? The teacher standing there, hands out the test. I'm sitting in the back row getting more and more nervous. That's the moment that I wish I had the 7-Eleven breath. And so that when the test got to me, I was just calm, right? Or backstage before I had to go and give a talk or do an audition. Or on the sidelines before I had to go out onto the soccer field because I was just getting more and more worked up. Could I maybe just find a way to settle down, right? That kind of thing. Or even just like take a moment, like when I was growing up, they'd say, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, like count to 10. And we'd all be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm still mad, like it doesn't work. What I find actually really helps is counting maybe the sensations in your feet. Or maybe just sounds you might notice around you. Count to 5 sounds, right? When you're feeling a little bit worked up in class or frustrated about something, right? I hear a car going by, and I hear a bird chirping, and I hear voices, and I hear my belly rumbling, and the mouth breather next to me. Like, even if you take just a minute to notice 5 sounds, pretty quickly you're not in that stressed out, freaking out about the future, the past, whatever it is. These little things, and there's a lot more out there. There's a lot of great books on mindfulness and other things you can find. These can really help you manage your stress. Focus on what you want to focus on, whether that's school, whether that's friends, whether that's sports, whether that's arts, right? And really not have it be quite so stressful so that you don't go on to develop, more mental health issues. Or, you can share this stuff with your friends. When they're having that freak out about the breakup or the rejection or the whatever it is, right? That you can practice this stuff a little bit together or share it with them as a little kind of psychological first aid. It can also be really helpful for them if you're a peer leader, if you're the captain of the team or something like that, and you want to help out some of the other kids who are maybe struggling. One other thing that I found mindfulness really helps me with is you maybe, in fact, you almost certainly have noticed that you've got that little critical voice in your head that's like, you're not a good enough student, you're not good looking enough, you're not good enough at soccer or basketball, or not cool enough. We all have that. Like, guess what? Your parents have that, your teachers have that. No one talks about it. We all have that. And that's a voice that starts when we're young. Sometimes it sounds like our parents or like some not so nice teachers we've had. But what's cool to me about mindfulness is it really helped me realize I don't have to believe everything I think. Maybe you've even seen that bumper sticker that says, don't believe everything you think. And mindfulness helps with that. So what I do sometimes for myself when I'm working with kids or adults and they're saying, like, I'm the worst at math, or I'm, never going to get into college, or I'm so ugly, or whatever, is I'll just say, take that sentence, write it down even, and then in front of it, just write, I'm having the thought that I'm never going to get into college. I'm having the thought that I'm never going to learn algebra. I'm having the thought that I'm so ugly, because it's just a thought. It's not actually true, or it's probably not true. And when you realize it's a thought, the power just kind of just drains away. And I find it to be really helpful, just little kind of mind hack when I'm feeling stressed and I'm feeling that critical voice telling me how worthless I am, which again, it happens to all of us, whether we talk about it or not. So I hope that's another just little tip that you find helpful.